Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Happy Woo Woo Wednesday, everybody. I was going to share this live stream over on the Done Creative, so I might do that real quick. And we do have a few donations that have come in, so we'll get those listed, and we're going to do a collective reading today, so it's going to be fun. Let me just go ahead and share this, create a quick post. With what the heck is going on, energetically speaking. What the heck is going on? I'll even write energetically speaking. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? So free, collective, reading, and what else? Oh, that should be good. People know what's up usually, so sorry for the delay in this. I tried to do this before, but my phone internet wasn't working for some reason, but this one was. And then earlier today, this one wasn't working, but my phone was. So lots of weird, like electronic-y type glitches going on. I don't know what's going on exactly, but what the heck is going on? Maybe that's why we're here to figure out exactly that. But yes, hello everybody. Brianna's here. Hello. And we already have a donation, 2 donations that have come in that I've seen notifications for, but I will make sure. Yes, we do have 2. If you have donated and it's not popping up that you have, just type in the chat here, hey, I donated, just to let me know. And then I can, of course, check. Oh, Gemini, new moon for sure. There we go. Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to update our donation. Oh my gosh. So we have Katie R for a full read, and then Brianna for 1 card, but you guys know me, it's never 1 card. Hey, Hay's here. Hello, Marlene. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so I was talking about doing this a couple weeks back, and then was it Friday or Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday, because Friday was our donation-only live stream. I might have touched on it on Friday, but it was mostly donation-only live stream, so it didn't get, like, highlighted or anything. I just keep getting that June 8th is a turning point for humanity in a good way, but it may not look good on the surface, or, you know, there's a lot going on. I mean, we're in this kind of almost like war energy with, in Vedic astrology anyway, with Mars and the South Node about to be conjunct, like exact, and the South Node and the North Node are going to shift, I believe tomorrow, again, per Vedic astrology, into Leo for the South Node, or Ketu, and Aquarius for the North Node, or Rahu. So it's already kind of a pivotal time leading up to the 8th. And then Mars is going on its way toward Leo, again, per Vedic astrology, and the South Node is just dipped into Leo. So they're going to cross paths, and they're aspected by, as one of my friend Jessa's astrologers says, Sky Daddy Saturn. I think that's hilarious to call it that. But absolutely, there's some chaotic energy in just the mundane astrology coming up. And the best word I can use for it is like war energy. Because the South Node, at least per kind of ancient texts, is like Mars on steroids. It can also have other connotations, but when it's angry, it's like Mars on steroids. But when it and Mars itself conjuncts, and then Saturn is aspecting it, there's like a karmic war energy or karmic release or something. And because we are talking so heavily on astrologically, because as we know, the astrology kind of sets like what is potential timeline wise, you know, as long as you're not using free will, which most of the mundane world is not using free will. They think they are, but they're not. They're just literally going by their astrology. We're going to use the Star Codes Astrology Oracle, or Astro Oracle. This is a fun one just to get the tea as far as the astrology. Kirsten's here. Welcome, welcome. Which new moon transit is it according to Vedic astrology? So this one is happening in Taurus. So Vedic astrology, except the nodes, they're ahead of the curve because they go in retrograde. So it appears that they're shifting sooner than Western astrology. But Vedic astrology is 23 to 24 degrees behind Western astrology. And every 72 years, it'll be back another degree, another degree, another degree. So years and years and years and years and years and centuries down the road, it's going to be so different. It's now just like for me personally, as a 0 degree and 15-minute, like very, very much just dipped into Libra ascendant. Anything below 24 degrees, or sorry, anything below 6 degrees of Libra, for that example, for me, I would still be a Libra ascendant in Western astrology, but being a 0 degree Libra ascendant per Vedic astrology put me up 24 degrees. I'm about 24 degrees and 15 minutes of Libra ascendant in Western astrology. So I'm both Libra ascendant in both. My moon sign would change from Gemini to Cancer, though, and my sun sign from Aries to Taurus, respectively, from Vedic to tropical or Western. So, yeah, that's kind of the shift or the change. But the reason not just because of like the Vedic astrology system really resonated with me. I mean, I thought Western astrology was on point. I'm like, this resonates. Oh my gosh, how do they know me so well? And within about 6 months of me really getting into Western astrology, I discovered Vedic astrology, and I was like, hold the phone. This is even more accurate. Not that Western astrology is not, but Vedic to me was more accurate to me personally, like as far as my spiritual path and how I am and who I am on the internal. Vedic astrology hits just a little different for me personally. And the thing that kind of solidified, like, oh yeah, I think this is the modality that I'm meant to really study and get the lay of the land on. And I mean, a person could study Vedic astrology for their whole lifetime and still barely scratch the surface. There's so much to it. But this is where I'm devoting my time. And the reason behind that, well, another reason, one of the main reasons is when you are talking about, say, Mars entering Taurus, which it's not in Taurus, it's in Leo right now for Western astrology, and in Cancer, or no, it's still, let's see, it's going to go from Cancer into Leo in what do you call it? Vedic astrology. But just say for the sake of example, when Mars goes into Taurus, Mars is one of the planets you can see. Jupiter is has just recently went into Gemini. So when the night sky is on display, you can clearly see that Gemini is in Taurus, or now Gemini for Western astrology, Vedic astrology. You can see that's where it's physically located on that day when you look up in the sky with your eyeballs. Western astrology goes back about 2,000 years from that point. It's like taking a snapshot of that point, because they are fixed to like the solstices and the equinox. Like Aries will always start on the same day for Western astrology, and it's with the seasons. But the fixed stars, like Western astrology, I know they kind of do tap into the fixed stars, but like in Western astrology, the eye of Taurus the bull, the star Aldebaran, is considered in Gemini. It just, I don't know, it kind of feels weird to me. Not to say, though, that Western astrology doesn't work, because too many people believe in it, that of course it works. Of course it works, because we are putting our creative life force energy into it as a human collective. People that, believe that's a thing. So there it is. Yeah, that makes sense. The whole world exists on a different timeline, hence the seasons and the time zones. There you go. Yeah. And you can even be in the same season and time zone as people around you and be in your whole other dimension. That's the beauty of it all. So it really is an individualistic journey, but also collective journey for all of us. All right. Here we go. We are getting into this reading. Just what I want to specifically tune into, kind of just mundane level, like worldly affairs, what's going on that we may be aware of in our timelines. And I'm getting a text from my friend Jessa. Okay. So something to do with Neptune. And in Vedic astrology, we have, let's see, do I have anything recent up? As of yesterday, I was just looking at astrology yesterday. So Neptune, Venus, Saturn, and the North Node are all in the sign of Pisces currently. Rahu, or the North Node, is about to dip into Aquarius. Venus is about to go into Aries, again, per Vedic astrology. But Saturn is about 2 degrees off of Neptune. And Neptune is illusion. Saturn is, and being visionary, having visions, being very spiritual. Saturn is about karma. It's about duty. It's about repetitive, get things done, hard work, elder people, or, your elders. But with this Neptune card, I'm really seeing the number 26 here, which adds up to an 8, which is about action. So there may be a vision, and Neptune, being the ruler of Western, no, it's Uranus. Okay, I'm trying to see. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, which is like otherworldly. And this is crazy because what I'm getting is a very Aquarius Neptune vibe, which it hasn't been in Aquarius for a minute now per Vedic astrology. It's been in Pisces for at least a while, at least 6 months, maybe more, if I'm correct about that. But I'm getting something that happened when Neptune was in Vedic Aquarius. Something catalyzed, something is kicking off for a vision for future. And I'm really getting a lot of stuff with like AI and technology. And I just heard planned obsolescence. If you don't know what that is, it's like, they basically sell you this phone in hopes that this is not the last phone they sell you. So they start to degrade the phone over time, or, as time rolls on and they make new apps, they won't no longer be, say, compatible with this iPhone 11 that I'm holding, just to keep you buying stuff. The same thing is happening with cars. Like, I think cars are like the new disposable camera. Anyone from the 80s, 90s remember the disposable cameras? Like, that's what the new cars are pretty much. And you have to like pay subscriptions to use specific, amenities within the car, or functions within the car. It's insane. It's what, why, who, how, why. It's not at all put in place, all of this, to help the actual humanity, the whole of humanity, or the earth. It's very much to help, capitalism and those at the top, pretty much. To whose detriment? To the earth, to your common person, to a lot of things. But there's something with this, okay, I can't ignore the elephant in the room. This mundane thing that's happening has to do, and then look I'm just going to say changes with the sun, a big shift from the sun, potential solar flares, activity with the solar storm, solar activity coming up around June 8th. And then we have the Uranus card on the bottom with change. Maybe a visible or physical or energetic change to the sun that's going to be felt on a mundane level. We're not, just our little collective here, we're not the only ones that are going to be feeling this. But for some people, they will not be able to trust the proof or the feeling that comes over them. They will trust the news or deny the evidence in front of them because they just cannot. The cognitive dissonance is real. But those with eyes to see, ears to hear, those with realize, will be able to feel, not just see, not hear, not taste, not touch, not smell, but feel with their spirit, with their very bones, that something has shifted as of 6/8, June 8th. So there is a big shift. This is one of the things. Let's just see with the tarot how this specifically. Let's go to Wake Me Up Tarot. These sun solar changes, things going on with this vision, or I'm also getting a hint of like Project Bluebeam with this. If you know, you know. Projecting things that aren't actually real. But those with the eyes to see, ears to hear, will be able to discern. So discernment. Have your discernment turned up to 100, like between now and probably, let's just say the end of June. That's what's the timeline that's coming to me. Because there's going to be a lot of lies spread and a lot of truth covered up, or an excuse given for the actual truth, or, what's going on here, but actually you need to be looking over here because there's some shady business going on. This feels more like on a mundane level than in your personal life. But let's just get a few tarot cards again on just kind of the mundane astrology. Okay, so this is a balance that has meant to be happening. Again, because astrologically speaking, Saturn is only going closer toward Neptune the closer we get. Let's just plug in the date here in my software. Let me amend this birth data here on the chart. We're going to go to 08, June, and then 2025 is already there. So, okay. All right. Yeah, they're within 1 degree, almost to the minute. 1 degree. Saturn is just below it. But with Saturn being just below Neptune, it's like Saturn is the container through which Neptune is flowing. I actually see this as a good thing because, yes, Saturn being that part of the matrix itself that contains the structure to contain the matrix, I actually see this as it's the container itself, Saturn, that is being affected as of this shift, as of this date. And anything else that's telling. We have an exact conjunction with Jupiter and Mercury on that same day, on June 8th. And Mars has entered Leo on that day. So it's not that they're exactly conjunct, but the South Node or K2 is holding up the very back end, 29 degrees, 25 minutes of Leo. Mars is at 1 degree Leo. So they've come into the same house. It is when, with Saturn still aspecting it here. So, but it is when they do collide that I see that war energy. So it's not the second Mars enters Leo or the second the South Node enters Leo tomorrow. It's when those are exactly conjunct, which is, I would say, at least in July sometime. I mean, it usually takes Mars about 2 years to go all the way around the zodiac, but we've had kind of a 6 to 7, 8 month pile up with Mars going into Cancer, going back into Gemini, and coming back because of the retrograde, which it goes retrograde every 2 years. Maybe it's 18 months Mars takes to go around. I can't recall off the top of my head, but every 2 years it does go direct or retrograde. But something is being balanced, especially karmically speaking, because Saturn is holding the container here for that Neptune energy that we got in the card that prompted me to look at this astrology here. It's all very, very telling here. But there is going to be a balancing of scales. There are certain soul contracts that are being pushed away. Replaced is what I'm hearing, but not replaced as in, oh, let's put an even more dire straits kind of contract, but like with your free will. Like you're replacing these contracts with your own free will. So the more intentional you can be about your conversations, about what it is that you want to accomplish, about the food you're consuming, the content you're consuming, all the decisions you make throughout your day, the more intentional you can be. And not even just like, ooh, just for my own satisfaction, but like really aligning to your spirit, embodying your own presence of spirit, to know what's best for you, to really allow that discernment to be turned up to notch 100 so that you know to set the very clear boundaries and intentions for yourself for this new contract of your own free will to replace any karmic contracts. That is huge. That is huge if that's coming through. That really would be a turning point for humanity. But maybe not all of humanity, because most people are under the illusion they already have all this free will, which if you were to look at their chart, tell them, okay, you did this, you got married this year, you had this many kids, they'd be like, how do you know that? Because your birth chart literally says all of that. With a birth chart, though, a lot of times hindsight is 2020. With that, usually there have to be like a couple things in place for something to be absolute. But there are certain alignments that this is your destiny. Like this will happen to you. Unless somehow you spiritually awaken and don't want that specific thing to happen. If it's good, maybe you do want it to happen. But if it's bad, maybe you want to avoid it. Not to like run away from your karma. I mean, karma really is just this sticky goo that gets passed from lifetime to lifetime, to person to person, to lifetime, reincarnation. And you notice, this is something I've pointed out before, but you notice these people who are in these high positions who are just the worst of the worst as far as their karma should be, like the worst of the worst. And somehow, some way, they always get off. They always get skate by, or as my mom and grandma used to say, they got off scot-free, whatever that means. I should probably look up what that even means. Like I've heard it so many times growing up, but I don't know where it originates. But it's like they keep getting pardoned, but that karma within this matrix system, it has to go somewhere. So it's usually put upon people, your average people. So we are taking on the karma of these literal devils at this point. And it feels like this is a turning point where we can say, no, enough's enough. I'm not I don't have to be the martyr here anymore. I'm taking my power back. And as a result, my power is going to ripple through the collective to inspire others to take their power back as well. So, anything else we need to know? Our little collective, we're kind of shifting gears here, but the opportunity is ripe for the picking, is what I'm hearing, for anyone, anywhere, leading up to June 8th and after, to just say, no, I'm done. I'm done being in the matrix. I'm done playing these games. I'm done not shining my light. For our little collective, hello. Talk about a turning point for humanity. Cups running over. Everybody's taken care of. I mean, again, I still see blips on the radar, ups and downs, ebbs and flows. It's not going to be perfect, but things are going to be better. And just this like daily grind just to survive, not even thrive, but just to survive. There's a big shift here for people in our little collective here where doors are opening where there were once really thick brick walls. Windows are opening where there were once walls. Maybe it's not quite time yet to walk through those doors or windows, but you're gaining your what's the word I'm looking for? Like your resources to be able to then be ready to walk through a window turning into a door eventually. But what I see is like these brick walls just being cut down or knocked over, and you being able to step through a golden doorway of opportunity is what I just heard. So, wow. And also your emotional connection to people with a true spirit. This being said, the people who they have a spirit, but they are just very much in the matrix, very, very asleep still. They're going to have really no choice but to wake up at this point, because you just can't. If you have a spirit, you will awaken. Like, it's the energy's that intense. It will happen. The other part I'm seeing is it's going to become blatantly obvious the people who are walking around as like NPC or very, very controlled. However you personally feel about, people with no spirit, or people controlled by AI, or like a hive mind, collective consciousness, it's going to become very clear, very prevalent. Like, okay, you can see these people coming a mile away. You can feel these people coming a mile away. You just know that there's no, lights are on, but no one's home, or there's no light behind the eyes with some of these people. Let's go to the Clarifying Life Situations deck. And we got a donation for Marlene, 1 card pull. So we're going to get into all of you lovely ladies' donations here momentarily. Anything our little collective needs to know? You can't make this up, you guys. Open doors. I was talking about, doors showing up where there was once a brick wall. But look, you have many options. So take your time to choose what's right. And that's what I was saying, is being very intentional with those choices you make, because it is leading to these open doors. I just heard you're skipping out on the matrix. Like, that's what I'm hearing. And then going forward, don't dwell on the past, but focus on creating a brighter future. Or also the present moment. That is where your power lies. I would say the present moment. Yes, it's very important, I think, for most of us to be able to dip into the future from time to time. But we need to also be in the present moment to embody, take certain opportunities, or just really solidify these timelines in the present moment, so that future will become a future now moment or present moment at some point. But the future is now, is what I just heard. So very cool. It's like you're making a decision now that will become your now moment in the future. So that's very cool. Let's go to the Shadow Work Oracle, and then we're going to close out. Anything else we need to know about this turning point for humanity in our little collective here? Woo! This one. Okay. Well, it is very unknown, and it's going to come in many different ways. It's very 7 of Cups energy. Uncertainty is the only certainty there is. Surrender, curiosity, and faith. And I always say that 7 of Cups is the underlying message is hope, knowing that there is a brighter future for you. But it's also that card of decision, like indecision, confusion, not knowing exactly what to choose. And sometimes making no decision because you're just unsure of all of the options can be its own decision. So don't get analysis paralysis, but at the same time, don't delay certain decisions to the point where no decision is a decision for you, unless you are just ready to just let what needs to happen. Here and get one more, so we'll do that. All right, anything else? And we have shadow alchemy. Turn shadows into gold by shifting your awareness, empowerment, and rebirth. And this has very much stuff to do with the sun or the solar flares or whatever energy is coming to us from or through the sun. The real sun is what I heard, not this fake one they have hanging out in our sky. Which when I say that, it sounds so crazy. It's like, of course the sun's real. I like kind of got a slight little burn the other day. Like, not a bad one, but just a little bit at the soccer game because it was like 80 degrees that day. We've had some pretty warm days and I'm just not knowing how to adjust. I'm like, I'm ready to keep my hoodie going because it's comfortable. I can adjust my comfort level, but when it's too hot, I'm like, it's too hot. All right, you guys. Well, that's going to do it for our little collective reading here, but we're going to switch gears. I'm going to catch up on comments and then we're going to go over to our donation list, which I'm going to take a quick drink of water. Okay. Brandy Lynn is here. Hello. Good to see you. Oh, your girlie's homesick today. Darn. Boo. We don't like kids being sick. It's no fun. But yeah, Wrigley had some allergy issues going a couple weeks ago now. He hasn't had any issues since. And we're just playing it by ear. I'm cleansing his energy every day, and he's good. So, but they like from February through early May, like it seemed like every week at least one of my kids was home with a sore throat or a headache or stomach or something. And Boston, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I caught you guys up when it happened. He missed Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from school. And then the following Monday, Tuesday, Wrigley was out of school. And he made it back on Wednesday of last Wednesday. So it was last Wednesday he returned to school for just in time for an all-day field trip. So it's like, oh, I'm playing hooky. I'm at home sick, but yeah, I can come to school for my field trip. But he genuinely was feeling better, and it was just kind of his allergies acting up. So it's not like he was faking sick. But I'm like, are you sure you're sick, everybody? Like, let's just go to school. Let's make this happen. I care about Vedic astrology, but also just don't have time for any more books or studies right now. But this is a busy time to be alive. Yeah. And as long as you just have your finger on the pulse, Brianna, of your own spirit, you won't even need astrology. It's kind of just a heads up of what the Matrix has planned for you. For better, for worse, for whatever. That's really all it is. So, a lot of people are like, this is a gift from God. Yeah, the gods may be sure to let us know what's going on and what they are forcing us into. Sure, if you want to look at it like that. But I see it as this is somehow the contract that you signed willingly or unwillingly with the Matrix for what you were supposed to have go on here. And if you want to know where the best advice I could give you on anything about your astrology would be to learn what your triggers are so that you can overcome them. Because that's where your triggers are in your chart will be where the Matrix is looking to keep you in the Matrix. But if you can overcome or detach from those triggers, power. You are powerful. Almighty powerful. Yeah, absolutely. But I hear you on no more studies, no more books. Like, not that I don't like to learn, but I have too many interests right now that I'm like, oh, like I really wanted to get back into human design and I kind of started to, and then I'm like, but I have all this going on and all this going on and all this going on. And it just becomes too much at some point, you know? And, sorry, I got a hair in my cards. My kids knock my cards on the floor all the time and then they pick them up and then there's like dog hair in them and stuff. My hair. I need a vacuum in here. Honestly, that's where I've been. I found the silver lining of life. Human design serves me more. Oh, it's funny you say human design, and yeah, but human design is also very potent and powerful as far as knowing like how are you programmed? How are you wired to respond to this world? And if there's certain things in your human design that you're just like, I am just not here for this. Finding ways to detach from that aspect, not detach like, oh, you're not a part of me, but like reclaim and alchemize any kind of shadow that, you know, you're like, ew, I don't like being this or I don't like being that, you know, alchemize it. Detach from the triggering of whatever it is, but then alchemize it, transmute it back into your light aspect. Because really, a lot of our insane gifts in this world are hidden in our shadow. A lot of them. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. All right. Absolutely. And I don't think Katie's here right now, but she usually likes to watch the whole live stream, I think, when she's done with work. But because of that, Katie, if you are here, let me know. We'll jump right into your reading. But otherwise, we can just take care of the ones that are here, and then I'll timestamp for Katie. In that case, we have Marlene. I was believing was first. No, Brianna. Brianna, it would be your question first. If I can get to the right tab. Here we go. Okay. Oh, it's going to make me log back into my email. So we'll go with that. Okay, perfect. Okay. So one card pull for Brianna. And she has her question here. I literally just said that when you mentioned it. That's so crazy. Yeah, awesome. Even in terms of content creation, you need to know your human design so you can make something that truly, absolutely. And it came out, I had a reading with Victoria Grace, who does human design. She was on my Patreon way back in the day and stuff. But it came out in my human design that I'm not someone who responds well to pharmaceuticals. So for me to take them, someone who suffers from migraines, I don't take anything for them, and people think I'm crazy for not taking, Excedrin, or, I have in the past, but it just doesn't affect me wonderfully in the moment. Let's just put it that way. So it came out in my human design that I am best to just not even mess with that. Herbs, tinctures, natural stuff, sure, bring it on. Let's do this. But pharmaceuticals, stay away. They're no good for me. They're no good for a lot of us, but with my specific human design, and I cannot remember which gate it was or which channel that I had active. I have the recording of it. I could probably look back, but I don't remember. And it's very interesting in human design. I'm supposed to be a natural marketer, marketing myself, marketing for others, marketing. And I feel like I don't even know where to begin with marketing. I have no idea. I feel like I suck at it really bad, even though I went to college for sales and marketing as part of my first business degree. Well, my only business degree. I also have a 4-year bachelor's degree with digital integrated media through the media arts. So but sales and marketing was retail stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You had to learn how to set up displays and set schedules. And it was very much retail. And I know this might sound weird as a 43-year-old person, even in my teens and 20s, I never worked retail. I was always more in the restaurant and food service, or physical labor jobs, working at lumber mills and welding places, forest fires. I never have worked retail in all my years. So I never put that degree to use ever. And it's changed so much so that even if I were to go into retail at age 43, it would just be a far cry from probably what it was in 2003 to 2005 when I was taking that whole, I guess it was an associate's degree that I did for that. But the other part of the degree, it was kind of like a double major, but it was for an associate's at the time, was entrepreneurship, which I've done a lot with that. Successfully, I guess, would be, left up for judgment. Are you a successful entrepreneur? I don't think so, but at least I've put it to use. It kind of died, and now it's just about digital marketing. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing is all these people that I deal with are I just got laid off from my marketing job. And I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's in marketing and nobody in marketing is able to find work right now. But that makes sense about the digital marketing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get into Brianna's question. I feel like going to my witch's garden, and it's right here, the tarot of the witch's garden, or as I like to just call it, witch's garden tarot. All right, so Brianna wants to know, can I get a spiritual check-in? What guidance or confirmation do I need to hear right now? Okay. Tuning into Brianna's lovely spirit. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So we have 5 of Swords, a 9 of Swords, a 9 of Wands. Okay. So you were throwing a bit of a curveball And I wanted to say that before I even saw this card, and then look at the curve of this kind of sash or mesh of this lady's dress, or it's really interesting because it's like, is that part of the building? And then it kind of goes into her dress. Like it's hard to tell like what exactly is going on here, but um you've been thrown a spiritual curveball. But what I see is with the woman kind of hiding behind here is like spirit energy, your own spirit, the energy of your own spirit. And with these nines, Nine of Wands can be classically about a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, sleepless nights, insomnia, all that fun stuff. But Nine of Wands, I like to call it my Olympic athlete card. It's like, don't give up. You're so close to the finish line. All the blood, sweat, and tears are going to be worth it. I know Nine of Pentacles is like reaping the benefit of your hard work, but I'm really getting this, like, don't give up. The finish line is so close to something. You're so close to a spiritual breakthrough. Even if you've had some blips on the radar, this feels very much spiritual, like spiritual attacks. Not so much in the 3D, although spiritual attacks can manifest absolutely in the 3D, absolutely. If you've just felt a little bit off spiritually, or like, like why did I kind of lose my passion for this thing, or why I'm just seeing this bit of spirit of delay going on with something that you were really passionate, really excited about, that excitement, that motivation, that inspiration is going to return to you in June, is what I'm hearing. Third week of June. Something is being returned to you. It's being returned to you. Wow. Anything else for Brianna? Guidance or confirmation? What does she need to hear right now? Wow. Look, lovely surprise. This is something totally out of the blue. You're not expecting it, but in a very spirit-led kind of way. Yeah, I just keep hearing spirit has your back. Spirit has your back. They never left you. And it's very interesting. We've got the lady in green here kind of like, oh, what's going on? I'm getting a very similar vibe with all the green going on in this card. Just so much spiritual protection, but through your connection to nature. There may even be nature spirits around you. Maybe even if you're working with any kind of herbs or anything right now, the spirit that runs through these herbs is benefiting you and helping you purposely. It's not just because you picked this herb that has these, properties that now it's helping you. Like the spirit of the herb, the spirit of earth is helping you in your spiritual endeavors, even in the material world though. Let's go to clarifying life's situations. Anything else Brianna needs to know? Guidance, confirmation. What does she need to hear right now with her spiritual check-in? We have a donation coming through for Kirsten. All right, tuning into Brianna's lovely spirit. What does she need to know? Okay, and then this one's got me in the paw, so we're taking it. Okay. Saving grace, forgiving yourself and others heals the wound and sets you free. And it's almost like that spiritual attack that came in. It maybe didn't physically wound you, but like spiritually, but you're protected. Like you're bouncing back from this in a huge way. She's like, yes, forgiving yourself and others heals the wound and sets you free. So, and it's almost like she's in this watery world here. It feels very watery, even if it's not. It just feels very watery. So if you can get in a body of water, especially a natural body of water, all the better over these next, coming weeks or whatever. But then we have the dove, or is it a pigeon? I don't know. It's giving dove to me. It's a very beautiful bird. But it's the growth potential. Embrace change to unlock full potential and flourish. That teal is jumping out to me. Ooh, yes, the teal. Very beautiful color. And I guess you could associate teal kind of somewhere between the heart and the throat. My teal. Yes, gotcha. But that's like very higher heart energy. You could even do, a lot of people associate like magenta or what have you. But yeah, there's an element of teal going on in this card as well. Beautiful. And yeah, that's like higher heart. So there may be some higher heart activations because that's really jumping out to you as your potential for growth. I love it. And I'm wearing it. Gotcha. Yeah. Very, very cool energy coming through that. If you felt, Brianna, like you've had a bit of a setback, or even just like things have been a bit stagnant, spirits had your back in the background, so to speak, that you're moving forward. Yeah, especially like that third week of June. There's something popping off for you. You're moving forward. You're just feeling like live, laugh, love with life coming up. So that's going to be awesome. Yes, that's where I'm at right now. All right. Well, I'm glad that resonated. I think it did. But yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing. Do what you are feeling led to do. Oh, I felt like I was forced to slow down in order to speed up and speak. There you go. And we may on that like human like, no, but I want to do this and I want to do that. Oh, that's a very very low flying plane, and normally they don't fly that low right there. It's not a big plane though, that I can tell. So something like about your ships coming in or your shipment coming in, I don't know. Planes to me really, I mean, it just really caught my eye, which is like, boom, there we are. Could even be some travel coming up that's going to be very life-changing for you. You've been doing a lot of magic, a lot. Yes, it's very close to landing. So it's very on par with your 9 of Wands. Like, don't give up like that. What you're looking for, that breakthrough, that thing you've been working toward is very, very close at hand. So don't give up. You're about to land, sticking the landing, taking on a very, I'm seeing like gymnastics, considering the Olympic athlete card that you got, doing these, like a Simone Biles doing this very complicated, floor routine. And then she totally sticks the landing and gets like a 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10. Yes. Before we go, let's pull one of these for you as well, just to see anything else Brianna needs to know. Yes, it's been my magic. I love it. Ooh, this one's like flipping. So the sun, this feels very much in alignment with our kind of collective mundane also reading. But this is you sourcing your own source through your own spirit. You knew that was coming. Oh my gosh. See, just trust your own psychic insight because it's right there. And then we have yet another 9 with that 18. So you had 2 9s in the deck, the swords and the wands. And now you have the 18 here with the sun. So the number 18, the number 9, add those all up. 9, 9, 9, 27 adds up to a 9. That's a weird thing with 9s. A lot of the 9s add up to 9s, add up to 9s, add up to 9s. But 9 is like a card of completion. It's about being on a spiritual mission and like doing what you came here to do before that new beginning where you're going on another hero's journey and another hero. I mean, are we ever finished? Probably not. At least it feels that way. But yeah, you're completing something so that you can start something afresh. Even if you're restarting or kind of picking up where you left off on something that you were all gung-ho about, it's coming in with a renewed energy and something that maybe you're tweaking something slightly about what you've been doing to make it even brighter and better. That if you were to just push through and ignore this need to rest, it wouldn't hit as amazingly as it's going to hit for all of humanity. I mean, I'm hearing the things you're working on, even if you feel like your reach isn't that big yet or whatever, just the magic you're doing, the love you're pouring forth just by being here is affecting everybody on this planet. So do not disregard how powerful you are, even if you don't know everybody or all the animals or, have personal relationships. Your amazing love is penetrative. Is that a word? Penetrative? all around the realm. Wow, that's so powerful. And we have Venus with beloved. And I'm just hearing, spreading the love. It's all about spreading the love through what it is you do. Oh, well, big hugs to you, Brianna. Thanks again for your lovely donation. And then we have Marlene. Go ahead and post your question. You're so welcome, Brianna, anytime. So Thursday today. All right. Marlene. And then we have Kirsten on deck. And then we'll do Katie's as well. So what's going on in my energy lately? I've been in small arguments with my oldest and my husband. They seem way less bothered than me. I just feel more tense and it's been hard to shake off. Okay. I think this is a big part of this like collective theme right now because so many people I talk to through work are just, yes, they're feeling it as well. This does not mean you're wrong and they're right or vice versa, but it's just a difference. People who are very spiritually tuned in right now are feeling very hurt, maybe by people's energy. But let's tune in. We're going to go to the Everyday Witch Tarot and just see what's going on or what is in Marlene's energy. Because I am seeing bits of entity interference, but do not fret. We're all feeling the entity interference. It's just so in our faces, with the collapse of the astral realm and it just basically merging with this reality, the more that we fixate on like the small things that like you get out of bed, you stub your toe, and then you're like in there brushing your teeth violently because you stubbed your toe and you're angry at the world. And then because you brushed your teeth angrily, now your gums are bleeding. And then like ripple, 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 ripple. And that's kind of the energy here is like these entities are just waiting for that ripple, or they're kind of poking the bruise of your, the argument that you just had to get things to ripple. And even if you are the common denominator, I do see that you are the voice of reason here. You're coming in with a balanced energy, meaning you have everyone's best interest at heart. It's not like you're coming at this from a place of ego or I'm right, you're wrong. Even if you are right and they're wrong, that's not why you want to win the argument or, whatever. It's just like I have everyone's best interest at heart, and like you're all crapping on me right now. Like what's going on? It's definitely not because of you. It's the energy around. The best thing you really can do is just to keep up with the spiritual hygiene. And really, I would say as of even early 2025, even before that, but let's just say early 2025, it's been really important to multiple times a day be clearing your energy at this point, because there is just so much, as Carrie K here on YouTube calls it, cosmic wildlife, which, yeah, with the collapse of the astral realm, it's just been a thing with just so much negativity and interference in our just day-to-day human lives in ways that were just really reserved for when we were asleep. But this is actually leading you. Look, we have the 27 here, which adds up to a 9, which is a completion to start out on a new rebirth. Pluto can be destructive energy, but kind of going back to the collective reading is people's true colors are really coming through. It's not saying your husband or your daughter is an NPC, nothing like this, but you can really see the energy moving or working through them to try to get to your energy. And one thing you can do as her mother specifically, I mean, you'd have to get your husband's permission to cleanse or clear him, but you as your daughter's, she doesn't have the adult title yet to where you are in charge of her energy, that you can be the one to cleanse her energy. That will help at least kind of clear the board before having any kind of confrontation or conversation with her. Yeah, because a lot of the way, it's not even so much what, I mean, yeah, it is. It is what they're saying, but it's more the tone they're using with you, or the way they're saying it, or the way things are coming across that is really like been the sticking point for you in these maybe disagreements or small arguments, that you're just like I'm justified to feel this way, but yet everybody's acting like it's no big deal. And it's like, no, you can say what you're going to say, but like say it in a nice way. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be disrespectful. I didn't do anything wrong. But yeah, this is very much like the entities coming in to like poke on the bruise of like times you've been victimized in the past by, just like the hurt of a friend or an argument or whatever. Yeah. And much like Brianna's energy here, this too shall pass. This won't last forever. And even just sharing your feelings, letting them know, hey, both your husband and your daughter, at separate conversations, you can say, when you said this thing, it wasn't so much what you said, because I absolutely agree with what you're saying, but like the tone that you're using with me, like it hurts my feelings. And even if you've said that, try to come at it from not a place of you hurt my feelings, but to say more like, my feelings were really hurt. I feel really sad. I feel maybe some anger or whatever it is you're feeling. Not because you did this, but like as a result of, that's how I interpreted when you use that tone with me. I felt hurt. But instead of saying, you made me feel this way, or you did that, there's a very nuanced approach to sharing how someone hurt you without having to place blame. Even if the blame is solely on them, it's you taking responsibility for your own emotions surrounding whatever the trigger point was, that you can kind of maybe come to a common ground. All right, let's get a tea leaf oracle or two. Anything Marlene needs to know about her energy field, or just kind of trying to be able to move forward, especially with her husband and daughter here. So Rooster, arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. And again, this is not your husband, this is not your daughter energies specifically. This is the entities that are really hitting on their egos or kind of poking the bruise of their egos to get them to, be a bit disrespectful or say things a certain way, just to stir the pot, so to speak. But yeah, slowly but surely, this energy really is moving. It's not going to be that you're sad and triggered forever. It really will improve, especially if you are kind of setting very firm boundaries. Like you're not gonna treat me like this without coming right out and saying it, but just sharing how the way they're treating you makes you feel, but like how you feel as a result of. Again, this is not about placing blame on someone else. It's about taking responsibility for how you feel, maybe as a result of something they said or did, but without just saying, you did this, you did that. Yeah, the way we deal with it is we just don't talk much that day, slowly start talking the following day. Yeah, and that's a pretty common way a lot of people deal with things. But especially if it just keeps happening day after day after day, week after week, month after month, like it gets to a point where you're like, I don't want to live like this anymore. So it's almost like we got to kind of open this can of worms. We kind of got to, open the wound, really get the shrapnel out so it can properly heal. It's going to maybe be a little more difficult to do that, but in the long run, it's less difficult because no one's having to walk on eggshells. No one's feeling resentful. Everybody can express their feelings or, get their point across without everybody else feeling like the loser in the situation. Let's get one more. Oh, it's coming out again. I put it back, I guess. So slowly but surely. Yeah. So things will start to improve steadily. Yeah. And then let's go to this deck. This one's back. Anything else for Marlene? I know we already took a Pluto card from this, but I feel like doing one more. Just anything else Marlene needs to know about her energy or just anything, any advice. Let's get some advice besides all of this. Yeah, literally, we got to cut it open and let it heal properly. Look at that. So just getting to the bottom, just, letting your husband know, hey, can we talk tonight? Like, I just got some things on my mind. I kind of want to get off my chest or just talk about, in a very non finger pointing kind of way. It's always going to go across better if the person you're talking to isn't already on the defense. So of course, get him while he's in a good mood. And then of course, teenagers, like when are they in a good mood? Like thankfully my son Boston's usually in a decent mood. But I know some teenagers in like his life, like just his friends and stuff, they're always kind of pouty and always very abrasive. And it's like, yikes. some teenagers be doing that because just hormones raging and all the things. But just finding with your intuition the most suitable time and place to have this conversation. Again, not coming from a place of blame, but like, I want to fix this. I don't want this to be the thing that is defining our relationship, that I have a concern, I express it to you, and then you're disrespectful to me, or whatever the dynamic is. Just saying, this is what it's been and how it's been, and it'll continue to be this way until we just decide no, enough's enough. Like, let's not continue this way. Let's address this elephant in the room. Open the wound, get all the shrapnel out so we can let this heal properly and move on. So we don't have to keep bumping up into this elephant in the room that's taking up precious real estate in our lives. Yeah, so hopefully that helps, Marlene. So yes, it is your energy field, but it's not you specifically. It's just these cosmic wildlife entities, whatever we want to call it, that are out here just having a heyday right now with so many people. I see it constantly at like the baseball games and stuff that I go to, even at soccer. Like people are getting triggered out here over almost nothing. And I mean, I don't even go places like bars or really hospitals or anything, but like those are usually the places people get triggered. But it's happening. I mean, restaurants, grocery stores, like these places are kind of vibing right now with the entity infestation of the astral world collapse. They're just here. Yeah. And even if you're not feeling like, oh, no drama went down while I went grocery shopping, it may be something like, you have to go to the grocery store and get lettuce or something. And just all day leading up to the fact that, okay, I got to finish work and then I got to go to the store. It's almost like this building anxiety. Then you get to the store and maybe more difficult to locate what you're looking for. I mean, usually lettuce is where lettuce is in the produce section, but Like the other day I was trying to find sauerkraut and I'm like, wouldn't that be by the pickles? It's kind of fermented, right? Like I'm looking. It was actually like with the beans and stuff. So I'm like looking all over. Finally found it. And I was just kind of like all day leading up to go. This is like a personal example, pretty much, is like all day leading up to going to the store. Because it was kind of asked like out of the blue, out of left field, like, oh, can you pick this up real quick before you head out? Because we were having dinner at my in-laws and they needed a few things. So I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. So it was already like, it wasn't my plan. Someone asked a favor and that's fine. But it wasn't, kind of as like my routine of, okay, I'm doing this, then I'm doing this, then I'm driving out there after work. But it was like one extra thing I need to do. Again, not a problem, but just my anxiety building up to leaving the house, going to the store. I only needed to get two little things. Should have been in and out if they were things I knew where they were, which one of them was. But the other one, I'm like, where's the sauerkraut? Found it. I was about to go look in, like, because I know they have like the refrigerated pickles. I thought, oh, maybe there's refrigerated sauerkraut with the refrigerated pickles. But I didn't get that far because I actually found it. So, but just something as simple as that. Like I didn't have any negative interactions in the store or anything like that, but just being in the store, trying to locate what I needed, it just felt like it expended so much of my personal life force energy just to do one small errand. And I'm like exhausted after that. I'm like, oh, these entities can feed in that way as well. So it's not even going to always look like some big, blow up drama at the Walmart or anything like that. It's going to be just you feeling very drained doing something that should be a simple task in your eyes, or something along those lines. That's just an example of how this can affect us. Oh, super helpful. Thank you. You're so welcome. And even if just you being in the vicinity, they're upset with you, you're upset with them, that even can be draining, because it's like the elephant with the trunk is just siphoning all the life force energy in the room. So the sooner the better, as far as being able to repair things. I'm not saying that you'll be able to repair things overnight, because, especially with teenagers, like life is a constant of evolution of how we relate to our children. But I do see things improving, and especially if you can get everything out in the open and like talk feelings and try to figure out a game plan into moving forward in ways that are going to benefit everybody. You're gonna be much better off, all of you, and everybody will be pleasantly happy with the outcome. And it's like a win-win-win situation, not just a win or loser situation. All right, so I'm glad that helped, Marlene. All right, let's go up to Kirsten's question. Okay, Kirsten, just let us know that you're here. So she wants to know. I'm gonna take a quick drink of water though, real quick. Okay, so what am I uniquely meant to offer in a business to help others that no one else can? Ooh, I love this question. And it's very interesting because it's not so much the topic as in like uniquely what you're meant to offer in a business, as far as the business itself. Like you have to come up with something totally new under the sun. No, you don't have to even do that. You can find something that thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are already doing. But because you are who you are, you're already offering it in a very unique way that no one else can do it exactly as you do it. That's kind of the vibe that's coming through. But that being said, I do have my life purpose oracle, which I like to use from time to time for questions like this. So we're going to get into this. Specifically, what are you uniquely meant to offer in a business to help? I really see your empathy being like top of the game, top of the list, as far as you being able to relate to others and others being able to relate to you. So this would be a business along the lines of something that you maybe yourself have struggled with, that because you've maybe overcome or partially overcome a challenge that you're now looking to help others with. And then this card falls into my lap. So this really is falling in line with being able to work with women, children, even people in your own family. But I'm seeing this more like friends that feel like family, or like an extended family. Like your work environment almost feels like a family environment of sorts. Or do you just feel like you're helping families? This could even be like counseling. But this really does feel like something you have overcome or are in the process of overcoming, because you'll be a great example of what someone looks like on the other side of this challenge. You're on the right path. Even if you're like, well, what path am I on? I don't know what path to take. you're already there, like, in so many ways. Like, you already are compassionate, empathetic, um, very giving of yourself, your energy, your time, your love. Um, that is going to be a big portion of what this job in a business that you're creating is looking like, helping people. You may even be helping people with issues. They have issues with family members or people in their family, that you're helping them overcome the challenge of this. This very much could be psychic work as well, or, tarot, um, readings, things like this. You're so multifaceted in your gifts, your abilities, that you could pick any one, any two. I'd say probably no more than 3 different avenues to be able to devote at least a significant chunk of time to each one. So less is kind of more with that, but I do see at times you might get burned out or are bored with certain facets of maybe an income stream, that you're maybe devoting more time and effort into a different income stream. But let's just see. Help people with generational trauma. Yeah, I mean, that would fall very in line with what's going on here. This is something most likely that you have studied or will study, or just you yourself are a first-hand account study in narcissistic abuse, or dealing with people with narcissism and things like this, especially with the masculine energy in your life. But yeah, reading, research, education can help you gain. And this is not to say you have to go back to school for anything, because I feel like a lot of the skills you already have. I mean, unless you need to be like a licensed therapist, of course, you kind of have to go through the rigmarole and take the certain certifications or whatever to qualify you to be able to give specific advice. But of course, as a psychic reader or tarot reader or whatever, you can do whatever. Oh, you are studying trauma-informed care. Well, there you go. If you're already studying this is like, you got it. You're already doing the thing. You're already doing the thing to help people. Look at that with the family. Wow. Yeah, this is looking really good, that this is a big part of your mission. Even if at some point you do decide to shift gears or take on a different side hustle or something, that's totally valid. But in the meantime, yeah, this is very healing for so many people. There are so many healing abilities and gifts that you bring, just showing up in what most people would consider like, I don't call like working at CPS or whatever a mundane job, but you could tell someone, oh yeah, I work for CPS, helping with trauma informed care or whatever it is, helping people with generational trauma. And no one would look at you like you were crazy. They'd be like, oh yeah, that's like a normal job. Like, people do that. Cool. That's awesome. So what I see is you already have so many of these skills and abilities, but you just showing up even in that very formal way is very healing. Just your energy, your empathy, your sympathy, your heart, your love, your attention, not allowing certain things to fall through the cracks. This is all going to serve not just you, but the people that you're working with in a major way that will change lives. So, some healers do change lives by like, physically getting in and repairing organs or something, but you are a healer that's changing lives through like emotions, through past abuses. It's like emotional, mental, spiritual is kind of the realms you're working in. Whether they realize you're working in the spiritual realms with them or not, I guess would remain to be seen, but you just do it automatically. So it's not even like you have to like become Reiki certified or anything like that. You just show up as your loving spirit, and that in and of itself is healing, cleansing, and clearing for these families that have been through so much already. And then you have the speaker card. Yeah, your life purpose involves your skills of oration or just connecting with people through words or communication. That could be another way that you're presenting this. But maybe you're also doing like some sort of TED talk, or you're getting up and creating a course or something. This may be something you're doing kind of on the side, kind of in tandem with your job at CPS, but just kind of as your own thing, where you're selling a course on how to overcome generational trauma. I do see women being your primary target, or audience, or consumer, customer, client, whatever word we want to put on that. But I'm just hearing like, take my money. Like, you have enough skills and way that you present these concepts that people are actually grasping and they're actually understanding it. Yeah, almost like an influencer selling like some sort of course for something that you literally studied. You know what you're talking about. not just through your own experience, but also through like, going through the traditional, schooling and training in that regard as well. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword of like awesomeness here. So you absolutely could be. And I keep hearing just start. Like, even if you want to talk about maybe not specific families, because that'd be like a conflict of interest or like a breach of confidentiality or something, but just letting people know that, okay, if you're ever in a situation like this can be what you do. And years ago, I used to watch this lady on YouTube that taught people, like especially empaths, like how to deal with the narcissists in your life, how to shut them down, how to get them to stop, especially like divorced couples that have to co-parent, and one of them is a narcissist. Like, how do you deal with these people? You may have some firsthand knowledge in that, or if it's not specifically with narcissism, maybe it's just about being able to do somatic exercises or clear trauma in other ways to communicate with people. You will just know kind of organically how to bring this forward to the public, is really what it feels like here. So yeah, psychic reader told me I'm meant to be an influencer. Yeah, I've been having awful brain fog, so I wasn't sure where to start. The brain fog really does feel like a collective thing. So many people are experiencing this right now. And one thing, especially if your like short-term memory has been really affected, this was something thank you for bringing this up. This was something I actually meant to talk about when we did our collective reading earlier. The brain fog and just the absolute exhaustion are real. Like, I'm not even like physically tired, but yet it does manifest as like I need to go lay down and like sleep. I think every single day I've taken it for like the last week and a half, except maybe a day here or there, I've had to like take at least a 20-minute nap in the afternoon because I'm just so mentally, physically exhausted. Not so much emotionally, but like just like mentally, like I just need my brain to stop processing information. I just want and it's not like I've been like rigorous with, I mean, we did get garden beds and stuff set up, but it's not like I was like breaking my back to do that in any way, but like I'm just almost like physically just tired. And the concentration thing for me too has been a thing. That's a very collective thing with these upgrades that are going on with like DNA and stuff. It's like trying to upgrade a computer while the computer's still running all these other applications. Like you have 47 tabs open, Photoshop's open in this corner, you got your Vedic astrology stuff open in this corner, all this stuff is open and trying to process and keep on going while you're upgrading the computer or the system all at once. It can almost just become overwhelming. So for you specifically, for the collective, if you're listening right now, this could also be like if you've been feeling any of these ways as well: brain fog, weird kind of lapse in your short-term memory, or just like, what did I even have for dinner last night? Like, what was I supposed? What did my friend just say? What were we doing tomorrow? Just things that were something you knew about recently or are planning for the near future and you forgot, or you're like going to the kitchen to get something and you're like, why did I come down here again? Like that happened to me 3 times in one day where I came upstairs to get something and I'm like, what am I doing? What am I up here for? And of course, it's like, I mean, I'm in my 40s. I'm like, am I getting early onset dementia? Like, what is happening? But no, it's literally these upgrades coming in as we're still trying to be out here in the world doing what we do while upgrading simultaneously. Yeah. And if you've been sleeping a lot more than usual, just know that's your body just bringing these upgrades, on board. Yeah, and then we have 6th house with sustainability. 6th house is our work house. It's our, like daily routine house, I should say. Just all the kind of daily mundane work that we need to do. And the number 44, it's about building a new foundation to sustain this new energy coming in, to sustain what your question was about, which is your business, and to sustain income, especially with this business that you're meant to help so many people. All right, let's get a couple tea leaves and then we'll close out and then we'll get into Katie's reading. All right, anything else for Kirsten? All right, we have wealth coming in. So there's definitely some money coming in as a result of this business idea. And then dealings a relationship with an older man. So this could be a boss or someone that you're working for or will work for in the future. that is greatly benefiting you as a result of, or helping you benefit as a result of wealth. If it's not coming out of his pocket, then he's maybe directly in charge of hiring you, and then the company, or, you know, wherever it is you're working, helping or benefiting you in some way. But I almost heard like mentor as well. Like he's almost acting as a mentor. And then we have unsuccessful outcome to a problem. This really does feel like something from the past that you are just deciding, well, I know that didn't work out, but like, I'm actually glad that thing didn't work out. Even if it was really difficult for you to get through and you were ready to leave, like, especially this is really pointing back to your marriage back in the day. That, you know, even if you were glad it didn't work out after a while because you were ready to go, ready to move on, you're just seeing even more added benefits of, or blessings of, the fact that that did not work out. And then we have hammock, taking a vacation, physically or mentally, which again, there's the relaxation vibe. So when you're feeling the need to relax, honor your body, honor your mind. And another way we can take a break is to just maybe turn off the Netflix, turn off the phone, get out in nature, and just, you know, not be consuming. Because that's something I noticed that I do, is like, I'll like be on YouTube watching a video, and I've got these like really long to watch playlists that I'm like, I need to catch up on, you know, these videos. And I'm like, there's not enough time in a day. I'm never going to catch up with all of this unless I stop finding new videos to then also add. And I'm like, I don't even want to be watching videos right now. Why am I watching videos right now? So I'm kind of going to be doing not a screen-free summer, but like a very much pulling back my screen time over the summer, because my kids are, of course, home for summer. Oh, you're on a vacation day today. Well, that was a good call. That just lets you also know you're doing the right thing. So you did the right thing by taking that vacation. So you're taking care of yourself. All right. So let's make sure we're up to date on our donations. Yes. Okay. So we're going to go to Katie's question. I'm going to timestamp. So we're at 11144. 1 hour, 11 minutes, 44 seconds. 11144. Very cool. Very cool timestamp. It's usually a few seconds off, give or take, when I watch it back on the replay, but close enough. That's what it said on there right as I read it. Okay. So Katie, there's your donation. Okay, so good afternoon, Amanda, and everyone watching. I would like to know what Stacy's next moves toward me are. Thank you. All right, well, we've been using this Star Codes Astro. I always get it wrong. Star Codes Astro Oracle today in our collective reading, which I'm sure you've seen. But if you haven't, I'm already hearing it's relative or relevant to what Stacy's next move is toward you. So let's tune in. I'm hearing especially after the 8th, which is only like, what, 11 days away at this point from the day I'm filming this or live streaming this. I'm not filming it, live streaming it. You're going to see a shift in how she shows up toward you, or makes a move toward you, or whatever this next move is. But let's tune into Stacy's lovely spirit and see what her next move is toward Katie. Okay, there's healing. Very 6 of Swords energy, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you got that recently in a reading between you and her. We have the 28, which adds up to a 10, which is about a new beginning. Chiron is like the wounded healer. So a lot of the things that she's been going through are actually going to inspire her to reach out and want to go do something that feels therapeutic. Even if this is just getting coffee and gossiping, like that could be very therapeutic. I mean, you know, pick your poison, whatever that exactly is going to be. But she wants to do something healing with you. Even just your energy is healing for her. But what are her next moves toward you? Yeah, she definitely wants to do some healing so that she can show up as a friend. But she does want to immerse herself in you. Cancer's that very nurturing, loving, motherly energy. It's really giving this like Jupiter and Cancer energy here as I'm looking at this card, which is Jupiter's favorite place to be because it can really expand into all things spiritual, all things nurturing and loving. And what is more spiritual on this planet? Fight me on it. Than a mother's love for her child, especially when that baby's first born and perfect and imperfect all in one, shriveled up little raisin prune looking baby. But nothing was more perfect to that mother. Not all mothers, mind you, but the kind of mothers that you and Stacy are. It's that like unconditional loving energy. She does want to immerse herself in, and how healing is this combination? Wow. Wow. There's a lot of healing here. And a lot of just cracking through the shell is what I'm hearing to get to the softness. Not that she's got this tough exterior when she's around you, but when she is around you, she feels she can let her guard down because she can be vulnerable without fear of being made fun of or mocked or told she's wrong in some way, which she gets that a lot at, from a certain someone in her life that's not you. She just, that is her next move toward you, is to immerse you in like unconditional love. Let's just go to the Tarot of the Witch's Garden. Yeah, I got that right. Tarot of the Witch's Garden. All right. Anything else about Stacy's next move toward Katie? All right. Ooh, look at that balance. Look, this is very just balanced, nurturing energy, even though it's the masculine form of that nurturing kind of Cancer motherly energy of the cups, Queen of Cups, King of Cups. It's the balanced energy to where it's not so la-di-da that it's just floating off on a cloud. It's grounded in its approach. It's like that masculine energy of the balanced energy is the container through which that more feminine energy can flow. So her next move toward you really is to be able to solidify or ground this loving, unconditional loving energy to where you're going to be able. So she may even suggest, hey, let's go do something, because this is a card here about making some plans, but not just making plans, but actually following through and meeting up and taking those plans and making them actions. So she may even reach out to say, hey, I heard about this cool thing that's going on like next week. Do you want to go with me? Something like that. So she's reaching out in the intent, or with the intent, to solidify some plans that then become the action and you actually going through with the plans. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Empress card. So very, very feminine energy, just very sensual, kind of going back to Cancer motherly energy here as well. So maybe you're bonding or talking about your children together, or just doing something that makes you both feel like you're very much in your feminine energy. And that can just be when two women hang out, or a group of women hanging out, like they're free to just be in their feminine energy in ways they can't do with like a group of men or in a workplace or something like that. It just feels very much like she wants to just, it's weird because it's like a quiet energy, but very lively. It's very snuggly and nurturing, but lively. I don't know. It's very, yeah, that's it. That's what I'm trying to explain. Like soul sister, soul mother, soul mate type energy, vibing, hanging out together, celebrating. Maybe you're even going to a fun event together, something like this. It could be a concert, but it feels like there's like food and drink. So I don't know if you guys are going out to have lunch or dinner or something together, and then going to watch a comedy show or a concert, going to the movies, maybe, I don't know. But it feels like a multifaceted hangout. So even if you're only getting together to have coffee and kind of catch up, but then it's like, oh, but next week we could do this. Ooh, and then the next week we could do this. It's almost like kind of getting into a groove. Like that's what she really wants, is to like get into a groove where you guys can make it like a regular thing where you're meeting up, even if you're kind of switching up what it is you're doing when you get together. But that you guys are making that priority toward each other to really solidify this friendship, or ... whatever this could become eventually. Because you mean a lot to her and she means a lot to you. And I love this energy. I love this energy. But yeah, her next moves are like, let's make a plan and make it happen. And there's a lot of healing here, and a lot of just wanting to be in her company, in your company, I should say, and you and hers. So yeah. All right, Katie, I hope that resonated for you. Actually, before we go, let's get clarifying life situations. Just anything else about Stacy's next moves towards Katie. Ooh, just go with it. So if on a whim you're like, oh, I should ask her if she wants to go do this thing, like just do it. Just type it out. Just pick up a phone call or whatever the case may be. Embrace spontaneity and trust the journey, remaining open and to unexpected twists and turns along the way. So yeah, it's almost like spontaneously things are going to start picking up in this friendship, this connection. And that's especially what she's hoping for, is for things to just be flowing with you two. And then we have another card of healing. Sorrow heals. In heartache's shadow, growth awaits. Let pain not define you, as brighter days are promised. And again, this very much feels like her marriage. Maybe she's sharing specific things with you about the connection that are sorrowful to her. But just her being able to share or express that to you is very healing, because she's like, especially if you're like saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened, or oh, how could he say something like that to you, or whatever, like just her feeling like someone's on her side about things. It's like giving her the courage to be able to, not feel so alone. Yeah. All right. Of course, she always has to bring him up, because he's a big part of kind of where she's at mentally right now. Her connection or lack thereof to him, but they're still together, connected. But how deep is that connection going at this point? It feels very shallow in ways that are loving, but very deep in ways that are almost like, I don't know, not control. That's not really the right word, but just almost like on his end, like there's a lot of resentment that's built up, is what it feels like. And he just likes to poke the bruise. It's like, that's like the theme today, is like we were talking about that in the collective reading as well, like poking the bruise. And someone else's reading, Marlene, I think it was. We were talking about that. I think maybe it was Marlene's. I can't remember. Sometimes these readings just flow into each other. It feels like one big, long collective reading. Just the way that the information comes out. All right. So I think we are all caught up. Yes. Okay. Well, you guys, I am going to go. But I wish you the best and happiest Wednesday ever. And I will be back on Friday, and we will do, maybe we'll do a free reading giveaway, or a cosmic question or something. Maybe I'll let you guys vote. Maybe we'll do that on Friday, just for a longer, just kind of hang out, and then of course take any donation readings as well, and just make it a fun hangout time, because we haven't done that in a while. I mean, we do that, but as far as like a free reading giveaway or cosmic questions are always really fun. I really enjoy that as well. Yeah. All right, you guys. Oh, Tamara, daughter of Oya, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. As I'm closing out, I see you here in the chat, but I hope you're doing well. Yeah. So I'm going to go, you guys, but I will be back Friday, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and we're getting closer to June, and sometime, I would say probably the third week of June, maybe third, one of those. We're going to return to our evening live stream, and it may actually be the 11th. I think that's a Wednesday. Let me double check. That's Boston's 8th grade promotion. So he's leaving 8th grade. I went to the golf tryout meeting last night for the golf team at the high school that he's going to be going to. It looks like stiff competition. They only accept 5 varsity and 7 junior varsities for a total of 12 boys on the whole school team. So, oh, I didn't share with you guys. Very exciting mom moment. Boston actually got a hole-in-one, 166-yard hole-in-one on a par 3 on Memorial Day. His first at age 14. Like, how cool is that? I do have the video of it. This was him kind of searching for the ball, and my husband was like, well, just check the cup. And then he's like, my husband just got this feeling like, I better film this. So he started filming right after he said all that. Oh man, I should have shared that like at the top of the chat, or the top of the live stream. Maybe I'll share it again on Friday for anyone who missed it. But yeah, that was just so cool. Let me just double check the 11th. The 11th. Let's see. Oh, I'm in July. How did I get to July? What? How did I get here? How did we get here? All right, we're in June. Yes, June 11th would be Wednesday, and it's at 10 or 11. So it would take place kind of on our amended schedule. So, but I think, I'm trying to remember, it depends on if Wrigley would be out of the tournament by then or not. There may not be baseball that night. So that might be the first night we put our Wednesday live stream back to our normal time. But yeah, I'll show you guys the video, hopefully with some sound here. Okay. So this is Boston coming up on the pin or the cup. He's kind of looking for the ball after Ryan had suggested maybe it's.
Now you owe us all drinks.
He's like, now you owe us all drinks. But that's Boston. Like he can be very stoic. He didn't like he smiled, but he wasn't like over the top. Now, if Wrigley were to have done that, he'd have been jumping up and down, screaming, beating his chest. He'd have been the exact opposite of that. But yeah, very, very fun, cool moment. My husband's gotten 2 hole in ones, however you pronounce those. But I think the first one, well, Boston was a baby when he got the first one. So he was not well over 30, but he was over the age of 30. Because he got one on my birthday one year. And then the following June, like a year and some change later, he got a second hole in one. But hasn't had one since. So it's been a while. But Boston got his first one at age 14. Very cool. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you were here to catch some of the live. Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a long time since I've seen you. But yeah. All right, you guys. Well, I'm gonna go. I'll be back Friday, and then we'll kind of keep playing it by ear as far as the baseball schedule and getting our regular Woo Woo Wednesday schedule back in action. But it may be as early as the 11th. So it's coming up. It's coming up fast. All right, you guys, thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Until next time, peace. Bye.